And we're rolling.
Great. Welcome, everyone. It's Thursday. I don't know what day it is, October 22nd. Does anybody else know? It's Wednesday.
I know that feeling. I lose track of it every day. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Wednesday, October 22nd. And this is the Diamond Dash call for this amazing group of coaches that's done great in this Diamond Dash event. And I am a four-star diamond coach in the line of Bob Lucido. Don Murphy actually signed me up, as you learned from and if you watched the video that I posted some years ago, couple 2.5 or so years ago. And you know I'm nuts about health and Shakeology and sharing what we have here in this amazing products with Beachbody with the world. And I love secondarily that we're able as Beachbody coaches to actually be financially rewarded. Many of you know I did work in my day. I was a CPA at a college, but did work with the Wall Street guys and did major mega million, $500 million loans and whatnot with commercial real estate and the Wall Street guys. And that was my world. And those people are very handsomely rewarded, as you know, financially. And when I decided to quit that business with my mom's cancer diagnosis and go into the wellness world, I had a bunch of amazing, and still do, amazing fitness and wellness professionals that work for me in this world. And I can't make enough money to pay them what they deserve. I mean, the wellness center just doesn't obviously make money like the world I came from. And it frustrated me and has frustrated me. And I love this Beachbody opportunity because you can all make all that money and more. And so all my top staff are coaches, as some of you may know. And even my head trainer and a guy who's been with me, we opened 15 years ago, he actually fired his boss, which is me. So that was
bad. I felt bad. Yeah.
I didn't feel bad. It's what I strive for. It really is. You know, even when I worked my previous career, most of my secretaries became accounting staff of mine because they wanted to be more and learn more. And I really love taking people and helping them be all they want to be. So most importantly in life, you all need to find that thing that really intrigues you. And hopefully, if you're on this call, this is it. And hopefully you can be reminded that that is what's got to keep you fueled and going. That's got to be your highest calling. That's got to be what you keep on your refrigerator, on your mirror, where you brush your teeth in the morning. Like, I am doing what I absolutely have been put on this earth to do, what I absolutely love. And all those days and all the garbage and all the crap that goes along with any job becomes minuscule when you love what you do. So again, not to belabor my situation, but I do love numbers. You know, Don's a Notre Dame grad in finance, and he's not doing that. And we're numbers people, probably at heart. I mean, if you went through such a specialized career, you're probably relatively good at it. But it's not my heart. It's not what gets me excited every day. I never got up and went, oh, I can't wait to do another financing deal today. Like, it just wasn't what really excited me. So I'm here to hopefully answer your questions, but help motivate you and put life and your world and this Beachbody opportunity in perspective, because it's big and it's bad and it's something that you all can do. You know, it's a simple business, I tell my coaches. It's a very simple business. It's not like doing finance deals on Wall Street. You don't have to have that kind of expertise. I'm not minimizing that it's not as hard sometimes and that it's not as frustrating and not as difficult. Just because I said simple doesn't mean it's easy, right? You guys all know that. What makes this not easy is that we're dealing with humans in their most vulnerable place, right? We're dealing with them at their levels of health and fitness and wellness, and coaches that are our coaches that we're trying to motivate to become all that they can be. And a lot of them don't even believe it. So I got into that belief system a little bit in my video, but let's go around. I think, there's so many weeks went by that I said, and the team did such an amazing job, right? All your coaches that have been teaching you, I'm just blown away. And I don't want to be redundant. We're down to this home stretch here, and I really want to answer your questions. What do you guys have that is still frustrating you, or something that we can help? We got Don on the call, Jonathan's on the call. I don't know what other coaches that we have. Nikki is on the call. So really, we're here to answer your questions. They got on with me to support all of us. Together we're better, right? So if you want to raise your hand, and Don can see that and unmute you, that would be great. What questions do you have? We'll start with that.
All right,
Okay.
Michelle. Go for it, Michelle.
Mine's more of a frustration. I feel like I hit a wall. I signed up 7 coaches and right away, and my last one was October 3rd. So it's been almost 3 weeks, and I feel like I ran out of places to look for more people to invite. That's what I went through all my friends and family and, signed up everybody I know, and working full time. It's not, I would like some guidance on where I can find more people to invite.
So that's always the age-old question, right? So let's start with what I call the Bob Lucido basics. Okay, he's my upline sponsor. Do you have a list, Michelle, of 100 people in your world? I mean, you're kind of saying you've exhausted it if you had one.
I still have a list of like 20 people that I follow up with on a regular basis. Everyone says they're interested, and then no one, comes forward and actually makes a purchase. So I have more than 20 people, friends, family, coworkers, acquaintances that I keep following up with. But I need to expand beyond those 20 people, or whoever many are on the list, to, like you said, to get to 100. But where do I find them?
Okay. So the thing is, you need to have the 100 list. Okay. How do you get that list is your question.
Right.
The one thing is, have you printed out the memory jogger in the coach back office?
No, memory jogger. Okay.
Part of the 7-day quick start.
Yeah, if you went to the 7-day quick start, you all know by now, I assume, that that's an interactive document. And anything that's underlined or highlighted on that 7-day quick start, if you just go to that, like memory jogger is in there and it'll be underlined. And if you click on it, then you can get to the document. So what that document does, Michelle, so it's amazing that you don't know of that and you got as far as you did. So now you're just going to blow the doors off it, okay? So what the memory jogger does is it gives you ideas of where you can go. And it's got a list of things like accountants, lawyers, laundry, dry cleaning guy, pet sitter. I mean, I can't, there's got to be hundreds of names, right, Don?
It's all the people that you're not currently thinking of.
Oh, good.
That all of a sudden you look at this and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And like, it just, all of a sudden your brain starts going with all these contacts and people that you may be acquaintances with that you don't even think about right now. That's what the form does.
And then, not to belabor your point, Michelle, but if you then take that and really go through it, and I tell my coaches, don't second guess that, okay, my lawnmower guy. Don't second guess that, no way, my lawnmower guy is going to drink Shakeology. Okay, I shared Shakeology a year ago with my lawn guy, and I'm not done with him yet, okay? So the point, what happens when you're a new coach, and this is why I tell my coaches that patience and consistency are the only two things I need you to bring to the table. Patience, because this is not going to happen in 6 months or even a year. I don't know if you saw, if anybody posted where you are, Carl Deichler's post from like 2 days ago, where he interviewed Melanie Mitro and
Lindsay Matway.
Lindsay Matway and
Trina.
Gray. What's Gray's last? Trina Gray. And they told him that they didn't make $1,000 a week until the 2-year mark.
I think it was $1,000 a month, Renee, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was $1,000 a month. They didn't start making until like 2 years into their businesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
So but the point is, look at Lindsay's the top coach, and whoever would have thought that she did anything but shoot out of the cannon like a rocket, right?
Yeah.
Patience. So Michelle, the idea is, and the reason that you feel like you've run out is that you ran fast and hard, which is great, but you have to fill your pipeline. So people like Don and I now, our pipeline's pretty stuffed. Like yours, you got these 20 people, and a lot of my coaches that I sign now, it takes no less than 6 months, Michelle, before they come around. And a lot of people, it's a year. A lot of people, I come back around. You know, I have a funny story about one coach, and she's actually in this group, but I don't see her on. But her name is Cottrell, and I met her in Florida, and we hit it off. She signed up. Within about 6 months, she quit. She quit. She didn't even talk to me, and I stay pretty connected. Long story short, she quit, I emailed her. I reached out. She said, Renee, I'll come back when I'm ready. It's just not the right time for me. Well, what do you think I said, Michelle? I was like, no way. I'll never see her again. I called her up when I was headed down to Florida. Now, I live in New York, right? So I happened to be stopping in at Florida last winter. And I said, listen, I'd just like to get together to have lunch, just because I really liked her. And she goes, oh, I'd be so happy to see you. She goes, do you think we could sign up? Would you mind signing me up? Hello,
Yeah.
Well, that's how it happens. But the reason that patience in the beginning is so important is that those things don't happen in the beginning, Michelle. I mean, think about it. I had to be around a year before something like that happened, or even beyond a year. I don't even know how far into it I was. So to go through the memory jogger.
Where do you find that again?
On the 7-day quick start, the 7-day quick start guide,
Okay.
which if you're not.
I came printed that out.
Here's the easy way, Michelle. When you get into your back office, in the upper left-hand corner, it says getting started.
Yeah.
This is new. And you can scroll down there to, I think, whatever the getting started, there's 3 things under there. One is a message from the CEO.
The CEO welcome has the 7-day quick start embedded in his message. Like Carl Deichler says in his CEO welcome, the great way to get started is with the 7-day quick start, and you just click on that, and you'll see the hyperlink in there for memory jogger.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, just click on that, and there's a million other things to click on in there, which is a wonderful exercise for all you almost diamond coaches to refamiliarize yourself with that getting started document, and make sure that everything that's underlined, or there'll be like orange dots for the 3 vital behaviors, that you've clicked on all of that, and that you're very intimate with that document, because that's what you're going to need to coach your coaches.
Right.
That's how you're going to get your people started right.
Right.
So that's tremendously important.
If you guys, I'm sorry, if anybody else has anything they want to add, regarding what's worked for you in finding some of the coaches that are on your team. I mean, Deb here, she's a 1-star qualifying diamond. So go ahead, Deb.
So one of the things that I found helpful was watching one of Keith Callahan's videos on Social Graph, which is something that is in Facebook that I similarly I feel like exhausted a lot of the people that I already know, and even going in through finding friends in common. So now I'm going in and looking for, if you go under, your friend tab, which is the button immediately to the right of your home tab at the top of your Facebook, you can actually find friends. And you can just look for maybe your hometown, or maybe where you went to college or high school, or maybe a gym that you belong to, or maybe a yoga studio, anything that you frequent. You could find people that also like that or have attended, that school or that job or what have you. And Keith even had put in a template email of, hi, I know you're probably, surprised to see my friend request, but we both really like inner strength yoga, and I live right up the street, and I wonder how we haven't met yet. I'd really like to network with people, and this is my virtual handshake. I hope you'll accept my friend request. Something along those lines. I'm kind of making it up off the top of my head.
That's what
a lot of those, what's that, Renee?
he types that in his friend request.
He types that, he friends them, and then he follows up with a friend request immediately, knowing that it's likely that that person's message won't get seen because it'll end up in the other part of their inbox. But it's good equally to monitor that roster of friend requests, because if you have too many outstanding, Facebook will block you. But I have found that to slowly start trickling in to increase the number of people that I'm reaching. Even if I'm not mentioning Beachbody straight away, I let them see that through my consistency in my posts or whatever ways that we may communicate, because it's going to come out of, oh, well, what else are you into, or what's new with you? And I'm so excited. I just bought the Ultimate Reset, and I'm nervous as hell, but I'm going to do it. You want to kind of follow my journey, and it kind of leads from there. So that's been a helpful extension beyond the memory jogger that I continue to use.
Right. The other point that I would add is, and thanks for that, Deb. That's really good. The whole coach recruitment process, similar to you guys, like I signed up, and after I signed up, I was so enthralled with the opportunity and the way it worked. I knew people that I just felt would really get excited about this opportunity because I was so enthusiastic and I was so passionate about it. I had all these people, and I was just like, I was going gangbusters, and then it kind of came to a halt. It's like the low-hanging fruit's gone, and it became, all right, now what? And I really actually took some time to focus on the coaches that I had recruited to start to nurture and help them grow and really plug them in. And so Michelle, like you started out and you said you signed up 7 coaches like that. Now, when did you become a coach? How long ago?
The end of July. So they counted
Okay.
August, September, and October are my first 3 months. And I'm one success point away from winning a ticket to Summit.
There you go. You're off to a fantastic start. You really are. And so now you have these 7 people on your team, and it's really, really important that you put energy into them.
I have been, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And there's the reality of the business, guys, is that you're going to have a lot of people that just don't engage. So everything that you can do to plug them in and, give kudos and pat people on the back and really nurture them and plug them into these education groups that happen between Coach Basics and now Diamond Dash. I mean, it's great support. The more they feel like they're part of something big and they're part of a team, the more they're going to plug in and engage. And that's when your business really starts to grow, because you're trying to get them to duplicate what you're doing. That's the nature of the business. The other way is to, like, when I was contacted about this opportunity, I was green when it came to Beachbody. I never did a Beachbody program. I never drank Shakeology. Somebody talked to me about the business opportunity. And because of my business mind, that's what got me into it. I was like, I live and breathe health and fitness. I'm a gym owner. I love helping people. And I just saw this being an extension beyond the 4 walls of gyms to get to the majority of the population. So I was like, from a business standpoint, this company's relatively new. It makes sense. Sign me up. A lot of people out there aren't going to feel that way. And for them, the channel to put them in is going to be getting them to become a product of the product. Like your customers in your challenge groups and your customers that are part of your fit clubs or shake and share events, whatever it may be, just getting them to believe wholeheartedly in a Beachbody program or product like Shakeology or an exercise program and experience the benefits, that alone is going to get to them on a deeper level, so that when you do talk to them about the coach opportunity, it really will resonate a lot more than if you're just talking to them green about the business opportunity. They know nothing about Beachbody. when you have people that are warmed up through being a customer first. I find that to be an almost better recruitment opportunity, because those people, they're products of the product already. And so for many of them, it becomes, look, you know what? You're drinking Shakeology every month. You love the programs. It's insane for you not to become a coach. You're going to save money. You don't have to engage in the business right away. Just become that discount buyer and continue to enjoy the programs and products and continue to drink Shakeology. I'm saving you money. So, 9 times out of 10, when it's presented that way, it becomes, yeah, it does make sense. I'll become a discount buyer. What you want to do, though, is plug them in. So they become a coach, they become a discount buyer. You're going to plug them into your team page. And when they see on the team page all the excitement and the energy of coaches talking about their growth and their life changes that are happening through this business, many come around and go, you know what? I think I'm going to plug into one of these education groups and learn more about this. So it's kind of like a backdoor approach to get people to finally engage in the business. And when you talk to a lot of the big successful coaches, how many of them begin with, oh, I signed up 3 years ago as a discount buyer. I had no intentions of working the business, but they became a product of the product, and they saw the type of success that was happening for people that believed in what these programs do. And they said, well, I'm a believer. Why don't I plug into this education and start doing it? So, when you're going after coaches, and this goes to everybody, you're going after coaches on the business opportunity with people that have no experience with the programs or products. That's a challenging thing to do in a lot of instances. It's the customers and the people that are already warmed up to Beachbody that can really become your best candidates. I hope that makes sense.
So what you're saying is those 7 people I signed up, it's going to take time for them to come around.
Well, if it depends. I don't know what those 7 people, would you consider them to all have been green and not have had, okay.
See, I wasn't green. I was a Beachbody, Shakeology, Reset, Refresh.
Okay.
I was doing them for 2 years before I became a coach.
And so look what happened to you.
So me, I was all excited and passionate like you were. So
right.
all gone wild and signed everybody,
Yeah, and so, okay, now you have 7 people that the next question to ask is, are they becoming a product of the product? Are they really drinking Shakeology every day? Are they doing an exercise program, or are they just kind of floundering out there? That's something to really look at. You want to get them, first and foremost, to become a believer in the programs and products. And this is why, as an Emerald coach, that customer lead program, those people that you're being assigned, they're already believers in Beachbody. Those are customers that are saying, I'm in. And so those customer leads very often can become great coaches. And working those leads consistently every day, the way Nicole Jones built her business through her customer lead program. It's fascinating how she's done it. And when you follow that systemized approach with those customer leads, you will recruit more new coaches and you will get people to bite onto the business opportunity. Go ahead, Deb.
I just thought it might be helpful to add something from my personal experience. So I signed up as a coach because Don Murphy asked me to. I had no idea what I was getting into, but because of the relationship I had with him, I just trusted him. And he said to me, Deb, you really got to do a program. I'm like, Don, I'm teaching 20 classes a week. There's no way I can do a program right now. I'm teaching everything. And it wasn't until it took me probably a year. I was a discount coach for a year, just sitting on it.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I connected with a woman who has become a very good success partner for me that I hadn't seen in about 15 years, that happened to find me on Facebook, that she became a coach with me. And she was like, Deb, we're going to do P90X3. And I'm like, okay, I guess the only way I'm going to do it is if I put myself out there and tell everybody I'm doing it, because then I have to do it. And I literally tweeted every day that I finished my workout, and including, on top of all the challenge group stuff. But it wasn't until I completed that program, and it wasn't until I was able to say with pride, I did not miss one day. And I posted my pictures, and that's what started my business.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting on it, that's fine if that's what you're ready for. But when you're ready to actually commit to a program, then you can have the passion and conviction that you can't make up. It's going to come from you and your heart, and whoever you're going to talk to is going to see that and feel that. I hope that's helpful.
It's great. Thanks, Deb.
Maybe we should take another question, or we can stay on this because it's a big topic.
The
but
big part of the business,
are
no
you
doubt.
good?
It's a great
Yeah.
question.
Are you good, Michelle? Did you feel?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to take over the whole call.
That's all right. That's great. This is great dialogue that a lot of people should hear, because I think what happens is, Michelle, you can get in that one frame of mind of I want to share this business opportunity with more people, and a lot of times it's that back door with the customers you're bringing into your challenge groups and fit clubs, the customer leads that you're getting. Those are really, really great candidates to be approaching on this.
And just to sum up, it all comes down to the 100 people list that you constantly, every time you turn around, you add a name to that, even if they seem far-fetched, and then you take 10 of those at any given time and you do your 10 in play. And that's the whole business, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it doesn't matter if the 100 people list is prospects for customers or coaches.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if the 10 in play is customers or coaches.
Yeah.
You just keep working, kneading the dough until it's baked.
And the 100 that you have on that list, like Renee said, it's a combination of potential coaches, potential customers, and they kind of bleed together. And if you go right now to your back office and it says, you go to your customer search, every one of those customer leads you've been assigned should be on that 100 list. Like, those are people to be communicating with. The fact that you're their coach and you can plug them into your challenge groups and support groups, and you can also share the business opportunity with them. You might even want to plug them in or invite them into, I've seen some of the coaches run these great, it's like a sneak peek into coaching, a 5-day sneak peek into coaching, where people just kind of get a chance to observe and see what coaching is all about. All of those people can be invited into that opportunity. Yeah. Go ahead, Deb.
I have a question about the 10 in play. So I've been using the 10 in play a lot with the business activity tracker. And obviously you get excited when you can pull someone off the 10 in play when they become a customer or a coach, and then you put someone else in there. But how long do you stay on that follow-up until they haven't given you the hard no? They are maybe ignoring you for a while. So then I pull the Nicole Jones email of, I don't mean to stalk you, but how long do you keep them on before you put them off the front burner, I guess?
I don't have personally a rule, Deb. I do it case by case. So if I'm getting, like Michelle is saying with her people, like they're really cold, I move them off. A 10 in play to me is someone that's actually responding to me, that I'm in dialogue with, or, really working. So if it kind of goes cold, I move them off. Now, I tend to recreate my 10 in play once a week, once every 10 days. It just, it depends on how much is going on. And, and then I'll just start a new one. I'm like, okay, I got to regroup here. So really depends on the situation. But if you're not interacting with them, they haven't responded for, 5 days, or you pulled the Nicole thing, like I've stalked you, I'm not, it's gone cold, they're done. They go back on the 100.
Right.
No is just not now, right?
Right.
So they go back on the 100.
Thank you.
Okay. How about anybody else?
You've all become masters of your domain.
Well, the good news is you're here listening and taking in whatever you can get. I have to say, that's what I did. Don and I worked pretty closely when we were first getting started, because this business was an anomaly. We didn't know it. We weren't network marketers. And we kept trying to figure it out. Remember those days?
Oh, it was like, oh my God.
So understand that it is frustrating for everyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if, you've got the Surgeon General of the United States that supposedly has this great big brain. This is different. And it's totally about human interaction. It's not even as easy as sales. Because again, I'll argue that we're dealing with people at their most vulnerable level, at things that they've not succeeded at maybe for years and years, and we're trying to convince them that it's going to work this time and that we're going to hold their hand. It is difficult. That's why I start with the passion and make sure you keep that in front of you. You gotta love this. You gotta have your own story or your own, heart about what went on in your world that caused you to want to be passionate about this. And it doesn't have to be health. It can be your Nicole Jones story. I went bankrupt. I had no money. That's Nicole's story. And she went after it for the money. And there's nothing wrong with that. So whatever your story is, but, understand that what you're feeling, everybody has felt. And everybody who's been successful has gone through the same thing. Trust me, that's why Carl posted what he did. Right? So nobody's exempt. So Michelle shared her frustration. Who else has a frustration?
And celebrate every victory too. It's like every challenge pack sale, every person that starts drinking Shakeology and feels better. There are all these little mini victories, and it's those mini victories. Like if you read The Compound Effect, every single one of those little things just starts to add up over time, and it resonates, and there's a ripple effect that just permeates into other people, and it's kind of wild how it just starts to unfold, but it doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. And it's the beginning that's the toughest time. You're on a roller coaster that's like, it's a hard climb, and then you start coming over the crest of the hill, and it's like, whoa, okay, I'm starting to see my income grow. And it's pretty exciting when it happens. But it takes perseverance.
Exactly. Since Michelle spoke up, I'm going to use her situation. So Michelle has 7 coaches. So what I would do, Michelle, is I would try to, one of the things, the comments that I saw when I asked what people were feeling or where they were, was that, how do I motivate my coaches? How do I get them to not be bumps on a log? And the truth is that it starts with you. You have to be very motivating and inspiring. And you have to get up every day, even though you feel kind of poopy, and you gotta excite them and inspire them, however that might be. You've got to be excited. You've got to be energetic. And that comes from your personal development, right? That comes from taking care of yourself. Like I like to tell my coaches, put your own oxygen mask on before you assist the person next to you, okay? But having said that, it does get frustrating. It gets frustrating for me. It gets frustrating for Don. We have lots of capable people in the fitness industry that can't get out of their way. They just can't see the opportunity. So what I like to do, Michelle, is of those 7 coaches, I would try to hone in on the 2 that I can, preferably one on each leg, that I can really start pouring into and give my attention to in hopes that they become my 2 emeralds, right? So we can't take care of everybody. We can't take care of everybody. We've got to pick the ones that are showing the most promise and that are responding to calls. Look how many people. There are over 200 people in this group, and there's 12 on the call tonight. That is, I don't know, Don, do the math. What is 12 of 200%?
Yeah, it's just over 5%, I guess.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So the point is not to bash everybody. Everybody's got different schedules. The point is that when I started, and I started to say this with Don, we didn't know anything about this business. I was on every call. I did Bob Lucido's 90 Days to Diamond. I did it every time for the first 18 months of my career with Beachbody. Every 90 days, I just went in it again. Did I get on every call? Did I miss a few? Absolutely, of course. I have notebooks and notebooks of notes. Notebooks of notes. And I go back to it, and I try to, take the pointers and rework it. But again, bless you. It's that, what are you doing to work on yourself and to make sure you're understanding things? Pick those couple of coaches that you say, hey, look, I think you can really do this, and I can help you. We can do this together. Come alongside. Let's make sure you get on the call, the national wake up call, whatever your team call is. Engage in the Facebook and help that person along. It takes. I explain to people, we're all working full time when we take on this coach opportunity. We were busy and flat out with our lives before we took on the coach opportunity. How in the world are we going to pick up a second job? How is it going to happen? It's not easy. Goes back to, what's your passion? What's motivating you? And are you going to just wake up every morning and say, I gotta do it. I just have to find time to do it. Yep. And trust me, if Greg Plaskett were on the call, he would tell you how many times I called him and said, I am done with this. I am just done with it. But what happens? I go back to, wait a minute. I want to help the world. I don't want to help just my little town's my wellness center people. I want to help Michelle and Deb and Don and what are these, Lori and Lynn and Jennifer and Frank. I want to help all you guys to get to a different place in life. And it's not easy, but it's doable. It's so doable, you guys. You got to keep stuffing down that bad guy that keeps raising his ugly head saying, you can't do it, you're no good. Because you are.
Here's an idea too, Michelle, with those 7 coaches. And this would go for everybody. You reach out to your personally sponsored coaches. That's your front line, if you will, for your business. And then hopefully they start to create their own front lines. But that's your front line. And to reach out to your front line and say, all right, guys, it is November coming up. We are going to do a Trim the Fat challenge group. Thanksgiving's coming, so let's trim the fat in November. And you could just literally do a multi-program challenge group with your 7 personally sponsored coaches. So now you got 8 of you that are going into this challenge group. And by you leading that challenge group, it gives them an opportunity to see how the business works. Because obviously you've been plugged in much more than they have. So you've learned a great deal about how to successfully run a challenge group. We'll plug them into one and say, look, you're already drinking Shakeology or whatever it is that they're getting every month. And you just say, what's your program? Because starting in November, we're going to trim the fat through the holidays.
Do a multi-program.
That's what I said. Yeah, do a multi-program challenge group. They've got to pick one. And you're going to drink Shakeology every day, and you're going to do the group, and they're going to learn how that works, and they're going to get results. And you can say to them, look, if you have any customers you want to invite into it, fantastic. But almost just make it like, look, guys, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it right, and it's going to have an impact on the people around us.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Don.
Yeah.
Let me take it one step further, because I did that with my coaches. And one of the things I did, Michelle, is I said, everybody needs to take one day to post.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So then we show them. So I got everybody on a call, and I did a tutorial on how they're going to go in their back office, because the first year, I was doing all the challenge groups and they were putting their people in. Guess what? They were like, oh my gosh, first of all, it's a blast.
Yes.
So much fun.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
And it was so empowering for them to understand how much Beachbody has their back on doing these challenge groups. Yeah. And that they don't need to know everything.
Yes. And
that they have Renee and they have other coaches in our private page when one of their customers has a question that they can't answer. But some of this is building that confidence, because so many people start out saying, I can't do this. What do I really know? I mean, just because I lost 10 pounds drinking Shakeology, that's not enough for me to help all these people. But that's really a fun thing to do. Yeah, Nikki, that's great. I appreciate it. Do you have anything, Nikki, you want to share before you go? Nikki's got another call to get on.
Sorry, I just had to unmute myself. Yeah, no, I actually lost my train of thought in that, but there was something I was going to say, what we were just talking about.
Doing a separate challenge group with your coaches and then helping them post. Letting
Right.
them.
No, before that, there was something that I had in my head and I was going to say.
Darn it.
Yeah, just, you know what? It's just, I know what it was about. It was about being patient, because when I've done this, I've been a coach now for 3.5 years, and it's the consistency and patience, because in the times in my business where I haven't been consistent, my business has like really slowed down. In the times that I've been challenged and wanted to quit, you know, it's so funny, but just hang in there and push through. If you can push through those challenges, your business is going to grow. Every single time I feel like, ugh, and it happens. It still happens. I know it's a growth spurt, and it's like growing pains, and I know I have to push through it, and I do a little bit of extra personal development, and once I get through that, it's like, oh my gosh, like awesome things happen. So just keep pushing. It's worth it.
Great point. Yep. I equate it to, and it's the time of the
Thanks,
year.
guys.
Thanks, Nikki. This time of the year that we're moving into, like we're coming into the prime season for the health and fitness industry. This is the time of year that the gym owners are starting to ramp up with their promotions that they're going to do for January, because millions and millions of people are going to have New Year's resolutions to get healthy and fit. You have the opportunity to create those wonderful invitations to so many people coming into January. You know, and now's the time to start planning it. Start to think about the marketing you're going to put together, who you're going to reach out to, the New Year's resolution support groups that you're going to put together. You'll have droves of customers for these support groups. Start a fit club in your community. Like in January, start a fit club in your community and look at the turnouts you're going to get. It's the best time of year for your business to really ignite. So keep that in mind. It's a very exciting time.
And on that note, everyone, one of the things I started doing, even with my connections, is I started in the fall this 21 days of change, and it's a nothing group. I just post in it, and it's a bunch of people on my Facebook that I said, who wants to change something? Whatever you want to change. One lady wants to, go 21 days without eating any gluten. And right now I'm just, you know what I do? I go to the back, I go to the Beachbody. Sometimes I'll post my own stuff, but frankly, most of the time I don't have time to sit around making it up. So I go into the different challenge groups that there are, and I'll pull a generic, on the side, it'll say whether it's something about Shakeology or for motivation or whatever, and I'll just post it in there. And I'll encourage everybody, and when they respond, and so now they all loved it so much that we're going to do 21 days every month. So, and I said they can only stay in if they bring a friend. So now they're all going to get a friend to bring into this group. I don't know their friends. They're not my Facebook friends. So there you go, Michelle. There's another way to go find people.
I just wrote that down.
Okay. So you just start a generic, hey, look, everybody's got something they want to change. It could be, and the only rule, and I kind of put this out there so that they don't think, I don't go, this is free. I don't even say that. I just say the only rule is that you have to pick one thing that you're going to change, and you have to come into the group every day and at least comment or like a post. Meaning you have to check in every day and you have to pick one thing you want to change. That's it. Those are the only rules.
It's great.
So, that's the deal. I mean, we're starting one in November, and I'll probably tell them I'm taking December off because December's like my fun month of Christmas and stuff. And then I'll go back in January. So all good stuff. So a lot of people jump to another call. So now you guys really have us all to yourself. Is there anything else? Was this helpful?
Yes, thank you.
You good?
I'm good.
All right.
Michelle's like, it was all about me tonight. I love it. Good job. How about you guys, Lynn or Kristen? Do you want to talk about, or Christine, do you want to talk about like what you have right now? And we'll talk about your own situations if you want.
You good? Kristen's pushing. She's pushing for that diamond. You're pushing for that diamond, Kristen. I know.
I can't think of anything right now, but after we hang up, I'm sure I'll have like 50 questions that I have to ask this.
Always the case.
Okay, well, I think we're set, Don.
Okay.
Add anything else? Thanks for all your contribution.
Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. This has been recorded, so we'll put the recording up on the page, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
you.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Renee.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.